Looks like we're ready to go. Alright. Hello, viewers, and welcome back to Higurashi. Last episode was a really big episode because we learned something pretty cool that all the people who were victims in the Watanagashi killing / disappearance crimes were related to the girls in our group, specifically Sadako, Rika, and Mion. Not really Rena. Um, which was very interesting. And, at the end of last episode, I was pretty stumped because I couldn't really think of a theory that would work with this information. So, I thought on it. I just took a shower. That usually helps me think about it. But at the end of all that, I still cannot think of a theory that I like that uses their connection to the kids as a motive, at least. Um, so yeah, I know this might sound a little crazy, but just because I can't think of anything, maybe this is a giant red herring, which means it's kind of a big bait and it's not actually doesn't actually have something to do with the motive. And that sounds crazy, right? But it could just be coincidence, right? Like, I understand the victims from the second, third, and fourth, but because they do have blood ties. But like the connection between Mion and the first victim of the dam is like kind of weak and inconsistent with the other ones. Even Tomotaki, he's not related by blood. Sure, he was friends, but it doesn't really fit. And it's not like, so yeah, they're all connected, but it's not like the same relationship, right? And it's like Mion probably, I don't want to say hate, well, maybe she hated the first victim, but I doubt Sadako or Rika hated their parents, right? Or maybe they did, but we need more information on that. But yeah, I don't know. I'm sure I can think of some theories, but nothing that I really would be confident in. So what I'm probably gonna do is I'm just gonna take that information, put it on the side. I know it's there, but I still think the motives that we've laid down before, where they kill outsiders, specifically ones um, who endanger Hinamizawa, because all of the people who died did, I guess. Obviously, their severity changed throughout the years. Like, the damn person would have destroyed Hinamizawa, while the fourth victim was just related to someone who supported the dam. So its severity is different, but the main motive is still there, at least, which I think's a lot more consistent than the other one. Like, if you're trying to think of a theory that has other people that's not the group of girls that I've mentioned as the culprits, using the motive that they're related to the group of girls it just doesn't work with me. I don't know. It just feels like a big red herring, so I'm just gonna label it as that. Could be wrong, but yeah. We'll need more information. Let's just get right into this. Finish up this chapter, see how long it takes, plus the hints, and if it's still long enough, we'll start into the next one. I wonder how much time had passed since I laid down. It was getting dark outside. My body was soaked in sweat. It would probably be a good idea to change my sheets. That actually scared me. At that moment, the phone downstairs rang. It was probably Mom. Mom was quite the worry rat. Worry rat. Maybe she had called many times, but I just didn't notice it. Well, you were out also, so you could have missed the calls.
もしもし、前原ですけど。
お、生きてた。
Oh, it's Mion. Hi.
ミオンだけど、具合はどう？
圭一のお友達ですか？圭一は休んでますけど。変わりましょうか？
お父様ね。
Because he's still playing around.
すみません。
Even though I still think Mion's the most suspicious out of the group. Yes, despite Rena. Honestly, like, the thing with Rena, again, we're just saying brainwashing when she was a child. But yeah, I don't know. I just can't imagine Sadako being evil, right? Sure, she's like a trickster, but I don't think she's evil. Rita, I also can't imagine just because of, again, they're just kids, but... So honestly, Rita's the hardest one to read out of the group, right? But, oh yeah, I forgot to mention. Also with that information, we also know that, like, everyone in the group is lying, though, which is kind of suspicious, right? Because they said the club formed, like, the year Rena came, but I'm, like, 90% sure there's a club with Satoshi, which was Sadako's brother. So, that means everyone but Rena there was lying, right? Again, this could be more brainwashing. Maybe their memories were erased or something, or tampered with. But that seems so, like, fictional and not really logical. I don't know, man. Everyone was lying, though. Rena was lying about her just moving in a year ago. And everyone was lying about the club. It's just confusing. It's just a big question mark. But whatever. I can't really answer these questions. At least Keiichi's still having fun. I guess to him, Rena would seem the most creepy out of the bunch.
バカで引っかかってやがるよ。
じゃあ
After our exchange, we both had a good laugh together. Except I was suspicious of her even as we were laughing. It's good, keep your guard up. Was everybody really involved in the incidents? The fact that I couldn't say no saddened me.
元気そうで安心したよ。レナもすっごく心配してたよ。サトコはざまあないですわって喜んでたな。リカちゃんは病気でかわいそうですってさ。
Haven't seen those two for like an episode. Kinda miss them.
みんなで勝手に大盛り上がりしてたみたいだな。
It's been like 2 episodes even.
まあまあ。でさ、ケイちゃん、お見舞いに行っちゃ都合悪いかな。
I don't know, man. That's sketchy. It doesn't. It shouldn't feel sketchy, but maybe when the parents are home, it'd be better.
お見舞い？いいよそんな。
Oh
重病人って
no.
わけじゃないんだから。
I don't know about
う
this.
ちのバッチャが山ほどおはぎを作ってさ。
I have a bad feeling for some reason, even with this happy music.
お裾分けに持ってけって言ってんだよ。だから持ってくね。
おいおい、風が移っても知らねえぞ。
おじさんもレナもおバカさんだから大丈夫。じゃね。
Rena's coming. Uh-oh. She hung up cheerfully. Rena's coming too? That's what it sounded like. I was still concerned about meeting Rena, but I guess if she was with Neon... I don't know, man. Bad feelings. Oh, they're here already. 10 minutes later. Oh, oh no, I skipped that.
どんな感じ？ちゃんと薬飲んで寝てた？
そりゃもうしっかりとな。
元気そうでよかった。心配してたんだよ。
悪かったな。明日にはもう大丈夫だよ。
Mian showed a complete lack of concern for someone who's recovering, and Rena looked like she was worried about me from the bottom of her heart. It didn't look like there was anything behind those expressions. Yeah, see? Brainwashing. It's not conscious. It just doesn't fit, right? It's the only
ちょっとお
explanation.
邪魔しようかと思ったけど、まだ本調子じゃないみたいだね。
Or I guess possession. If you want to do it that way.
そうか？
It seemed my face appeared a bit sullen.
じゃあこれ、ケイチくん、みーちゃんのおばあちゃんが作ってくれたおはぎだよ。
Rena held out the package wrapped in newspaper. There might be about 5 in here. It was quite hefty.
な、サンキューな。ミオンのばあちゃんによろしく伝えといてくれよ。
その中にね、レナが作ったのも混じってるんだよ。ケイチくんに見つけられるかな。
これ今日の部活を欠席したケイちゃんへの宿題ね。おはぎにアルファベットがついてるから明日回答すること。
お見舞いなのか部活なのかどっちかにしろ。
元気元気。これなら明日は大丈夫そうだね。
この騒ぎで熱がぶり返したらどうしてくれんだよ、まったく。
みーちゃん、あんまり騒いじゃ悪いよ。もう行こう。お家の人にも怒られるよ。
Both of them thought my parents were home. Don't say otherwise. It was because the entranceway was a mess.
そうだね。もう行こっかね。あ、そうそうケイちゃん。
なんだよ。
お昼、
Oh no.
何食べた？
It's the eyes! The sudden question startled me and I went wide-eyed when I saw Mion. I'd never seen her like that. It was a highly unsettling visage. Well, at least we know it's not only Rena. But why is she asking me about what I ate for lunch? What she said was so inane, it was almost meaningless. The way she said it, it was almost like she didn't even care at all about what I ate.
表で食べたよ。
Rena, are you not reacting to this? She must have suspected that I was with Uishi-san. Anyway, I felt that if I hesitated or tried to change the subject, then they'd read too deep into it, so I tried answering as quickly as possible. Except, contrary to the efforts I had made, there was a pause before they replied. Oh my god.
ケイチくん、お昼は外食だったんだね。
This is not good. The glimmer from Rena's eyes had changed at some point as well. It was now sharp, as if to make me feel the feigned ignorance behind her words even more. As if she already knew. That's how it looked to me.
どう？美味しかった？
なんでそんなことを聞くんだよ。
Mion was speaking in an unusually low tone, almost as if she knew that I had eaten at the restaurant in town. No, I'm overthinking this. I mean, both of them should have been in school at lunchtime. There's no way they could have known where I was. Music?
渋いおじさまとご一緒だったみたいだけど。誰？
Oh, I thought they were gonna change back. Yeah, but how would they know this? This is a little odd. Flop. The package with the mochi I was holding slipped out of my hands. I could tell the blood had drained from my face, making me go pale.
へえ。
But how would they know this? Maybe they were spying on us. They had to be, right? Or someone was spying on us. Doesn't have to be them.
ケイチくん、それ誰？ひょっとして、この間の人かな？かな？
Really? She still repeats in this form? Oh no. That's so creepy. I could feel the back of my throat going dry. This was no longer a bluff. They knew everything?
なんでそんなことわかるんだよ。
It took everything I had to finally force those words from my throat. My knees were shaking.
さーてね。おじさんにわからないことはないからね。
Oh, it makes it so unsettling that they still use the same mannerisms. Mion sneered knowingly, and her laugh seemed to carry on forever.
で、ケイちゃん、何のお話をしてたの？ずいぶんと熱くなってたみたいだけど。
みんなの話はしてないよ。ミオンともレナとも関係ない。
聞いてもないのにレナたちの名前が出るなんてなんだか怪しいな。
Rena's unwavering gaze pierced through my eyes and peered further inside me. I dug my own grave. My heart was throbbing so much, it felt like it was going to explode.
ま、何を隠れてやろうとも、おじさんにはすべてお見通しってこと。それだけを忘れないでくれればいいかな。
What the heck? I couldn't even shake my head. It took everything I had to stop my teeth from chattering. She never let her gaze break from mine, even as she tilted her head slightly.
ケイチ君、顔色悪いよ。もう横になった方がいいと思うな。
そうだね。私たちはもう帰ろう。
As if nothing happened, they both giggled at each other and started making their way out. Yeah, the last two sentences sounded like normal Rena and Neon almost. I don't know. It's weird that they knew. It ought to be someone spying on us. Or something. I don't know. I skipped that, didn't I? I hadn't moved a muscle since I dropped the package of mochi. As they left, the door slowly closed behind them. Oops. All I could do was stare. As if I couldn't move until the door was completely closed. Just as the door was about to be closed, it opened again, slightly with a sudden creak, sending my heart racing once again. Mom? Oh, that's not Mom. A single eye peered in through the narrow slit, and Mion's hawkish gaze pierced at me once again. I don't know why they changed there. That wouldn't make sense.
じゃあね、ケイちゃん。
Inconsistencies. Don't say that with that tone while looking like that. That's
明
terrifying.
日、学校休んじゃ嫌だよ。
I'd hate it. Oh. Thud. The door closed. I wasn't able to move a muscle even after their low laughter died off into the distance, and silence once again enveloped the room. Coming back to the senses, the first thing I did was lock the door. They knew what Uishi-sen and I talked about? Why? How? No, that wasn't important. Thinking about it now, all of it could have been overheard from the beginning when Uishi-san met me. Just as Mion said, I couldn't hide anything. That's true, they didn't actually need to hear the conversation. They just had to, spot Keiichi meeting Uishi or something. Then, what were they trying to tell me? That part was obvious. They were warning me not to say anything unnecessary. What did they deem unnecessary? I only talked with Uishi-san about one thing, and they were warning me that that was unnecessary? What was it that Uishi-san talked to me about? The incidents involving Uyashiro-sama's curse that occurred every year weren't individual cases, but were connected as a whole. As well as the fact that there may be multiple perpetrators hidden within Hinamizawa. No, more precisely, that Mion, Rena, Sadako, and Mika-chan were all suspicious. Is that what they were warning me against?
何バカなこと考えてんだよ、俺。
I hit my own face hard enough that it let out a loud slap. Hi, train. Train in 20 minutes isn't bad, actually. Yeah. Still I don't know, man. I'm trying to think of theories. I have some wild ones, but I don't know if they're worth saying. So odd. If only that would make me wake up from this nightmare, but for some reason, it felt like I was punching a blanket. It was almost laughably painless. Is that another? Back-to-back trains? Is that a V-rail train? Those are rare. You usually don't see those. Lucky me. Calm down, Keiichi Maibara. When did I become such a pessimist? Calm down, calm down. Settle down and sort things out. The reason Mian knew I was eating lunch with Uishi-san was probably because somebody from Hinamizawa just happened to be there at the time. Yeah, if someone was tailing you. They must have told Mian that I was there. That made the most sense. Agreed. Plus, come to think of it, she didn't ask me where I ate lunch, did she? She only asked, was it good? They were just curious since I was together with someone not from Hinamizawa. Okay, no, come on, Keiichi. It's not as if they had any ulterior motives. That's it. That has to be it. I mean, they're clearly threatening him when they said they hated if he wasn't at school tomorrow. Thinking about it that way, it was the same with Rena. I was just being strangely ambiguous about when I met with Uishi-san, and Rena was just correcting me on that. That's when I was bewildered by the change in character from the usual mild-mannered Rena, and was just startled by it. That's the most natural way of thinking about it. It felt like my mind was mixed up like a tangled mess of spaghetti. Deep red marinara sauce would have poured out of my nose and ears if you squeezed my head. Thinking that, I suddenly felt like vomiting. I really didn't want that to happen, so I stopped holding my head. Lately, I had no idea what anyone was saying. Spending time with them was fun. It didn't feel like there was any sort of hidden agenda. I really do think that they're a good bunch of people. When I just moved here and couldn't make heads or tails of everything, they were really kind to me. Rena was really kind and always looked after me. As long as that strange affliction didn't rear its ugly head, she was really cute. Mian was also a really good person. She didn't care about anyone's age or gender, and was optimistic and outgoing. I was never bored when I was with her. And talking of not getting bored, Rambunctious Satiko was a good person for that too. She was pretty bratty, but that was just the way she interacted with others. Rita-chan was the same way. She didn't speak often, but that didn't mean she was always silent. They're my friends. But after hearing of the better untold secrets of Hinamizawa from Uishi-san and Tomotachi-san, when I was told about Oyashiro-sama's curse, things started going crazy. Then hearing from Uishi-san that Mion, Rena, Sadako, and Rita-chan were all suspicious. After that, everyone changed. That's right. It all started getting weird after Uishi-san told me all that strange stuff. At that time, I really should have just not listened to those weird stories. I shouldn't even have asked Tomotachi-san about the past incidents on the night of the Watanadashi. If I just hadn't gotten that strange sense of curiosity. If I just hadn't. That's right. So that's why they blanked Tomotachi-san. That impudent outsider speaking to the likes of me after everybody went out of their way to keep it a secret from me. They'll probably kill Uishi-san as well. For trying to unearth what everybody was warning me was better left buried. Besides that, he was unforgivable for spewing words that made me doubt the others. Of course a guy like that is going to be killed too. Both Tomotachi-san and Uishi-san were nothing but outsiders after all. They were entities who couldn't coexist with the people of Hinamizawa. Those guys should just fall to Oyashiro-sama's curse and just die. It wasn't their fault. It was my fault for not being able to hold back my curiosity. It wasn't their fault. 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 I settled into a daze. It was a lethargic feeling, like I had just gotten up, but the ominous chill that haunted me had subsided. I was fine now. I was no longer frightened. I had completely recovered. I'll go to school tomorrow, right as rain. I'll greet everyone. I'll take part in club activities. It'll definitely be fun. It had to be fun. I was one of them after
ああ、
all.
そうだ。おはぎ食べないと。どれがレナの手作りか当てないといけないんだよな。
I remember the homework the two brought with them when they visited me. But wow, our club did delivery. That was something else. I picked up the package I dropped on the floor and headed into the living room. It would be nice, I guess, to have some tea with it. To fill my mouth with mochi while drinking tea. Oh? This was quite a delectable situation I was in. Opening up the newspaper wrapping, there were 5 plump red bean paste mochi fit snugly inside. There are letters written from left to right on the newspaper. A, B, C, D, and E. Now then. They said Rena made one of these. I wonder which one. There wasn't much of a difference in how they looked. They smelled and appeared about the same. This was a pretty difficult problem. The biggest difference was probably their shape. I wasn't sure what kind of person Mion's grandma was, but Rena's had to be different from hers. Looking carefully, I could see one mochi that was made very neatly. So well that, just by staring at it, one could tell it stood out.
この一個がレナのか否かが勝負の分かれ目みたいだな。
Calm down and think even harder. Mion had said her grandma made a ton of them, and was told to give some out if I remembered correctly. So that meant 4 of these were from the large batch. Then what about Rena? She probably only made 1. So she probably spent quite a bit of time on it. Meaning, the one Rena had made was this one. Eee! For a moment, I thought it may have been a trap Mion laid, as she knew I'd picked up on it, but that probably wasn't the case. I wouldn't be so sure if I knew Mion had made it, but since she said Rena made it, it probably wasn't a trap.
よし。お茶も準備 OK。まずはディフェンディングチャンピオンのミオンのばあちゃんからだ。どれ？
Not bad. The smooth bean paste and soft chewy texture left little to be desired. The tea I drank afterwards also accentuated the experience. This was quite an exquisite piece of work. Now, how about Rena's? The creation was also delicate. One would think it was a high-class Japanese dessert. Since I normally had quite the appetite, I was slightly worried about the size of the portion. But, well, first a bite. This was quite a difficult one to judge, actually. The ingredients were exactly the same, so there was little difference in flavor. What was different was how it was shaped at the end, so it was to be expected. So the deciding factor would be presentation and volume. The well-formed and well-sized champion versus Rena the challenger, with a size you just couldn't get enough of. I'd only had 1 bite of Rena's. I would probably have to wait until after I was done eating to make my decision. Maybe there's something hidden inside that could cause an upset. It seems my prediction was right. My tongue touched something. It didn't feel like something edible, so I reached in with my fingers and grabbed it. What? What was this? Before I could fully comprehend what it was, I threw away the rest of the mochi I was eating as fast as I could. It slammed against the wall, causing the bean jam to splatter. Then, after sticking it for a moment, it slid down to the floor. I was dumbstruck by my own actions. What was I doing? Rena had gone out of her way to make it for me. How could I? Dumbstruck, I looked down at the hand that performed such a vile act. Then I remembered what I had taken out of my mouth. At first I thought it was a hair. Even though it was shorter than Mion's, Rena's hair was quite long. And it wasn't this short. It was also a bit too hard to be hair. Frames, what is it? A finger? There's a bit of a metallic sheen on the end of it. Ah yes, there's a hole for where the thread goes in, like it was a sewing needle. Yes, that's right. It looked very much like a sewing needle. Exactly like one. The end was pointed as well, quite sharply. It really did just look like a sewing needle. Huh? What did I mean by it looked very much like a sewing needle? Just a bit ago. I couldn't answer, but a voice inside me already knew, and let me know by chattering my molars together. I couldn't starve off the terror welling up inside me. Suddenly I tasted something metallic, and felt a prickling pain at the back of my throat. I stuck my fingers in the back of my mouth, and felt around to see if I was bleeding. Suddenly I felt the urge to vomit. The sharp taste of bile irradiated the back of my throat. I clasped both hands over my mouth, and after writhing in agony, I was able to hold back the nausea. I was finally able to breathe normally again, but this time my heart was throbbing intensely. Then it finally registered. Exactly what was mixed in with the mochi. Before I could think of the correct word, my hands were already on the move. Splat. Plop. Splort. I tossed the rest of the mochi against the wall. Ew. I love mochi, by the way. This was just intense, so I didn't want to comment too much. The geometrical patterns of the scattered bean jam on the wall suddenly invoked a terrible omen in my mind. After looking away, I dashed out to the hall and flew upstairs to my room, where I stayed under my covers until the morning. Come on, say what was in the mochi! I want to know. I clutched my own shoulders, howling madly. Why is there so much trains all of a sudden? Howling madly in a mix of fear, anger, sadness, and frustration. This wasn't a threat or a warning or a reminder. Nothing as simple as that. What had happened in Hinamizawa? What is happening in Hinamizawa? What would happen? I didn't know the answer to any of those questions. Where did I break a taboo? Regardless, now Rena and Mion, and the others, they consider me an enemy. And they thought I should just die. I wouldn't let you kill me. Not for such a pointless reason. I fell into a restless sleep as I was crushed by my negative emotions. It was as if I was being drawn into a billowing, bottomless marsh. Chapter break? Okay, I'm gonna save my thoughts for the end, because I do actually have some thoughts. I was thinking the whole time I was kind of not commentating. A drug that makes you kill yourself, and threats. Hard to swallow. Maybe it was a nail, not a... I don't know, something that looked like a sewing needle. Wish he would say what it was. Here you go.
単刀直入に自殺させる薬ってないんですか？
直接的にはない。
Yeah, of course not directly.
遠回しですね。では間接的にはあるってことですか？
自殺したくなる精神状態を誘発することはできるちゅうことだ。
難しい言い方になりましたね。何ですかその自殺したくなる精神状態ってのは。
例えば一般的な心理学見地から言えばじゃが、 心理面が内向状態か
I
ら外向状態に転じ
I
るときに
skipped.
最も自殺が多いと言われちょる。
Okay. Clinical depression and bipolar disorder are different. Clinical depression indicates a prolonged state of depression, whereas bipolar disorder is characterized by a passive depressed state accompanied by a very active manic state. Not maniac state.
内向状態の時は自信を喪失し非常に悲観的だ。自殺をする気力すらないからだ。逆の状態もまた自殺をせん。今度は逆に非常に自信過剰で行動的なので自らを順風満帆と思う。だから自殺などせんのだ。
なるほどね。どっちの状態でも自殺をしないのに、状態が入れ替わるときに自殺するんですか？
内向状態には自殺願望はあるが、自殺という大仕事を遂げる気力すらもない。
Yeah, but they gain the
外
willpower.
向状態が始まると
Yeah.
徐々に気力が充実し、体の自由が利くようになってくる。
Makes
な
sense.
るほど。つまり自殺する気力が回復するわけですね。
そういうことじゃのう。だからこの時期に変な気を起こさんように処方箋を施すわけじゃな。
では、富武氏はこの心理状態だったんですかね。
一般的に自殺はちゃんとした文化的な手法で行われる。道具を使用してな。自虐行動とは全く違うぞい。
Yeah, Tomotake's seem more spur of the moment, not planned out.
富武氏の自殺は文化的じゃないですよね。ではやっぱり何かの中毒と考えるのが自然ですか。最初に言った自殺したくなる精神状態を起こす薬ってのを教えてください。
鎮痛薬の一部には心理を内向から外向に過剰転換させる効果があると報告されとる。それから催眠作用を持つ薬を異常摂取した場合にも異常行動が報告されとるが、あまり一般的ではないの。
その2つは検視の報告だと違うみたいですね。他の可能性は？
あとは病気しか考えられん。甲状腺異常を引き起こす病気にしばしばそれに似た症状が報告されとる。だがそれらは概して特徴的な症状が多い。仏は違うの。
もっと突発的に発生するものはありませんかね。今回のケースと合うような突発性で自殺したくなるようなやつです。
他にはそうじゃな。脳障害によって精神に異常を発生する状態じゃな。これは薬物中毒でも起こるが、脳の外傷や
つまり薬によらなくても異常な精神状態に陥る可能性があると。
仏は犯人に囲まれて命に危険が迫っとったんじゃろ。極度の緊張が続いて、それに分泌異常が重なって、さらに打ちどころが悪くて脳に障害が起こり自虐行動に走った可能性もあるかもしれんの。
もうちょっと省略して言ってくれませんかね。
つまり乱闘中に豆腐の角に頭ぶつけて、それで異常が発生したと言っとるんだ。
じゃあ星には殺意はなかったってことですかね。
Oh,
ちょいと小銭を巻き上げようと思ったらたまたま殴りどころが悪かったと。
that could actually be something, huh? That they didn't intend to actually kill him. That'd be interesting. I haven't thought of that at all. The two plump men laughed hoarsely.
なんてわけはありませんね。
いかにも薬物の常用にせよ精神的なものにせよ、仏の身元が鍵を握っとるぞい。
あら、こんな時間、そろそろ戻らないとクマちゃん怒っちゃいますね。
Kuma.
おお、いいお年。
いいお年を。
Is that a possibility? We'll talk about it after. Threats.
い
Moroishi.
や、今の皆さんは確か
議員バッジが2人いたっすね。
Oh, this is Kuma.
じゃあ剣技と試技の園崎だ。
Oh wow. Just they do, yeah, have a lot of influence.
面白いっすね。親戚同士で剣技と試技やってんすか。
これがずるいんですよ。お互いの名前で慈善運動バンバン。片方の選挙中にはもう片方が別に講演会を開いて二重に選挙運動やってんですよ。堂々と。
よくわかんないんすけど、それって公選法違反じゃないんすか？
慈善運動にならない限り政治活動は無制限ですからね。クーマちゃん、そんなんじゃ戦隊本部好きになった時大変ですよ。
I think this is, yeah, outside the town, right? Right? Or no? Yeah, the prefecture, so it's outside the town.
公選法くらいは勉強してください。
俺、知能犯化は無理っす。バカですから。
There was prefectural assembly member Sonozaki and city councilor Sonozaki. Also the mayor of Hinamizawa. So they're all influenced by the Sonozaki family. What crap.
お見送りしてんのは副所長とうちの課長っすね。
It came to me. Why aren't you clicking? That night, when the department chief invited me along to get some Odin, I thought that was it.
大石さんは友達多いから聞いてるかもしれないけど、聞いてるかな。
いえ、何も。
お母さん、ガモにはんぺん頼みます。所長んとこに議員の怒鳴り込みがあったんだよ。
あれま、そうなんですか。あ、お母さん、私にもう一杯ください。
Prefectural Assembly member Sonozaki and City Councilor Sonozaki were both intimidating. Our snot-nosed career police chief couldn't handle being yelled at by them. They're like Yakuza.
ひなみ沢事件の捜査の仕方で君を指名して陳情してきたよ。
ありゃ、私はてはて。
とぼけるなよ。例のひなみ沢の過去の事件。蒸し返してるだろ。
私、富武殺しで手一杯でそんな余裕ないですよ。ね。
本当に？本当にそうならいいんだけどさ。
There was a period of silence. While we were silent, we made headway on our food and drink.
いやー、ごちそうになっちゃいました。今月は負けっぱなしだったんで財布つらかったんですよ。助かりました。
いや、いいよ。また馬教えてよ。大石さんと同じ馬を買うから。
最近はダメです。馬の声がさっぱりですから。タクシー!
I'm going by train. The department chief is taking a taxi. I have my own car, but it's rash to drive it home. Can't blow it right before retirement with a DUI. Even though he could still rattle off, it looked like his legs were already jelly. Pushing him into the cab, I gave the driver the department chief's address.
ではまた明日。良いお年を。
大石さん。
はいはい。
過去の事件は全部個別に終わってる。盾に並べるのはやめるんだよ。村の連中は半ば本気でタタリを信じてるんだから。
私だってタタリなんか信じちゃいませんよ。
大石さんは来年で退職じゃないですか。退職金でローン返してお母さんと北海道に引っ越すんじゃなかったっけ？
ばあ様がどうしても生まれの北海道に帰りたいって泣くんですよ。退職金はまあ陥落な。
Sorry for skipping.
所長は退職時特別昇給を見直すかもってさ。
A public servant's severance payment is calculated based on their monthly salary when they retire. So a special promotion of a 2 pay grades is given before retirement. This tops up the employee's severance pay. That tends to be how it's done around here. Of course, it's not exactly a commendable custom. Incidentally, the difference that 2 pay grades make is the payout. The difference that 2 pay grades make to the payout is quite significant.
さすがインテリの若所長は言い出すことが模範的です。でもまあ、私たちの給料が血税で支払われてることを思えば、まあ、時代の流れですかね。
It certainly wasn't a laughing matter, but I'll laugh through it anyway.
僕も模範的なこととは思わないよ。でもまあ、大石さんはそれだけの退職金をもらってもおかしくない活躍をしてきたからさ。僕としてはぜひもらってほしいんだよ。
もらえるもんならそりゃ欲しいですけどね。
もらえるよ。大石さんが大人なら。
運転手さん、引き止めてすみませんね。お願いします。
I closed the door roughly, interrupting the department chief's conversation a bit rudely. It looked like he still had something to say, but he just smiled wryly and waved. I waved in return. The cab sped up gradually and soon disappeared among the sea of lights. Close up!
参ったな。ローン返済できるかな。
Uishi. I feel like she's gonna die still. Alright, so that's it for this episode. What do I think? Well, they were discussing how Tomotaki-san, like, killed himself. It was a drug. I don't know, from what we just saw in the episode, I think it could be a similar method of what almost happened to Keiichi. Like, maybe something put a nail or something a bit larger into a snack or a drink. And then he tried, and then he started choking, and eventually it got to the point where he was so agonized that he tried to rip open his throat just to get it out. I mean, that seems pretty reasonable. What else? Thinking. We also saw a point where Keiichi was, it sort of looked like he was actually getting brainwashed. I don't know, it was either his mind kind of breaking and like forcing him to trying to become a villager, or maybe it was some sort of mind control thing. How would that work? I have no idea. Maybe it was in the way they taught, some sort of psychological thing. Which kind of, okay, this is a weak theory. Pretty weak. But what if a lot of what's happening is like it's all in Keiichi's head? Because honestly, the conversation from Mion and Rena, it actually wasn't that bad. Like, it looked scary. But the fact that they were using their own mannerisms didn't make it feel that bad. Maybe someone really did just told them about it. They were curious, not angry, and Keiichi was just perceiving it that way. Even like the final thing where Mion looked back and she'd be like, I'd hate it if you missed school, and hate it as in like in quotations for like it to be serious. What if she just meant it as a joke and Keiichi took it serious because maybe he's going through like a mind brainwashing process and he's just perceiving stuff in the scary way. Again, how would that work? No idea. Is it a strong theory? Not really, but I think it's interesting enough. It kind of works too, right? Because again, that was kind of a tense scene, but I actually didn't feel that bad when I'm thinking back to it. Because it really kind of felt like normal Mion and Rena almost. Just their tones were different, and it definitely could have been a perception thing. Because of course we're trusting Keiichi as a main character, but what if he's compromised as a protagonist somewhere along the line? He somehow got mind controlled and he's just seeing stuff differently. So there's that. I'm just gonna put that into my mental list of theories for now. Again, it's kind of weaker than the other ones, I think. A lot less evidence, but I'm feeling it. I feel like that one's decent. And yeah, I don't know what they put in the mochi. They're saying it looked like a sewing needle. Was it a sewing needle? Maybe it was a needle. I doubt it was an actual like needle while you inject people in, but maybe it was like a large nail. I'm not sure. I thought it was a finger. I knew something was up with the mochi thing. Oh yeah. So before I thought the mochi thing was just gonna be some more of a metaphor thing rather than than actually something happening, because you know there are 5 mochis. And they're saying how 4 were. Oh, maybe that's it. Okay, mochi metaphor thing. So there's 5 mochis. 4 of them were made by Mion's grandmother, and one was like different. Kaichi's could represent the different mochi. Well, they look the same, they taste the same, so he acts like the rest of them. He looks just like a normal villager like the rest of them, but they're just something slightly different, which makes the villagers kind of... There's something different that separates them, and that's what we're trying to figure out, right? So it definitely could be a metaphor thing. I'd have to think on that some more. And why was there something inside Keiichi that could kill someone? What is that supposed to symbolize? I'm not sure. But yeah, that was definitely... I wasn't saying anything, but after that, because I didn't expect something to actually be in it until they started pointing it out, and I'm like, oh my god, is a finger gonna be in it? I was thinking someone's like baby fingers gonna be in one of them like for the longest time, but it was something mysterious. And we don't know, even though Keiichi knows, but he didn't say it out loud. Also, he said something about the shape of the mochi when they were thrown into the wall, where like gave him a bad omen or whatever. I know he threw the 5, and it looked like, I don't know, the shape looked like 5 on a dice. It kind of looked like 3 were like slid off the wall while 2 were stuck. I don't know if that's something supposed to symbolize something, that maybe 3 of the group of 5 will die. Not sure. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. This was interesting. I think the story's probably like 10 chapters, right? It feels like we're coming closer to the end without reaching the answers we actually want. But yeah, that was pretty informative. Little scary, little good. Some Uishi tips, and you know, I really enjoy Uishi as a character. So far. It's not like we met too many male characters anyways. But yeah. Anyways, hope you enjoyed. It was fun. And I'll see you next time. And have a good day. See ya.